And always when you get to the end and go back to the beginning, you think the beginning is terrible. Because you learn. The whole process of creating the book is to learn. And what you really, and this is crazy, what you want is when you get to the end of the book to not be satisfied. What you want is to see a progression where you look back at it and you say, wow, it's not the same at the end as it was at the beginning because I understood more things as I went through the process. So you don't write a book to write the perfect book. What you do is you write a book to say, this is where I am now. And then the moment that you put the book out, you do promotion on it. But the moment you put it out, it's dead because it's history. And you have to start work on the next thing. Because that information was good for that period of time. But if you grow and you learn, what was good last year is not going to be good enough this year. So we did it last year and it worked. Well, what did you learn? Yeah? What did you learn? There's this saying that good is the opposite of great. For the very principle that I described. Good is the opposite of great because people are happy with good. Therefore, a lot of the time it was good. Well, where's the problem? Well, it's good, but it's not great. People are happy with good. And you get people maybe like you and me who try to push things a little bit more. And that's another problem. And I was writing about that today because I was thinking about that. The things that we get taught when we're young, the things that we're told are automatic, a lot of those things are wrong. And it doesn't take a lot of understanding to realize that what we teach children is basically wrong. And I'll give you two examples. I'll give you two examples. The automatic things. It's the automatic things that are problems. Yes, pushing and pulling. That's it. Remember now. Pushing and pulling. Right. There's this idea that you push forward. But you don't. You pull forward. You don't push, you always pull to drive forward. There's this idea that you have to push forward to go forward. It's completely wrong. Because you don't, you pull. You don't push to go forward because that action is creating resistance against where you want to go. You don't push to go forward, you pull to go forward. And so a lot of people, when they're looking at principles of how to move forward, they're looking at how they can motivate people through pushing them. And that's a mistake because the push creates resistance. So what you do is you motivate people by allowing the ones who can to pull the ones who can't forward. And it's you know, think about the horse pulling the cart or whatever, the plow or whatever it's pulling, right? You pull to go forward. You lead from the front and allow everyone else to follow you. Maybe every now and then people need a little push, but that's creating resistance, and that's a risk because you don't want resistance. You want as little resistance as possible when you go forward. So when you push, you're creating resistance, which even if you push someone else forward, you're going backwards. So you always lead by pulling people, not pushing them. You don't direct them as to what to do. You show them the advantages of doing it a different way. And whether they want to push or pull themselves is their choice. And you can say to people, do you want to push or do you want to pull? Because you're creating resistance for yourself if you push. Whereas if you pick up something and you pull other people with you, you're not going to create resistance. You're gonna set an example for people, and that will help. So that's the first. The things that we think that are automatically correct are very often completely wrong. And the other thing is, when I was growing up, I was always told or taught, it's what's inside the person that counts. It's what's inside. You look beyond what you can see. Look beyond the face and see into the person. And I was thinking about that recently, because I always challenge everything that's automatic because it's interesting. And I was thinking, it's not what's on the inside, because what's on the inside becomes reflected on what's on the outside. And this idea that, see into the person and go beyond the physical, it's like you can't ignore the physical. You can't ignore the physical environment, because it's that which allows you to appreciate and understand beauty. You can't see into a tree, right? You just see the tree, right? You see its actions. And yet there's kind of a problem if you have to look deep inside someone to find the good parts, because it means they're not in their life doing what they should be doing, if you have to search hard to find the good things in a person. So it's not, it's not what's inside that counts. It's because what's inside is reflected in a person's actions. And we want things to be nice. We want things to be aesthetic. We want things to be beautiful. And that's a reflection of what we have inside. So there's nothing wrong with beauty at all. This idea that, say, let's take some stupid example. And the stupid example is the really fat, overweight person who doesn't look after their health and other things. And people say, well, look inside, see beyond the physical. It's like, well, I can see the physical, right? Maybe they are a helpful person, but they're not helping themselves. They're not helping themselves. So this idea that it's what's inside that counts, not always, because we're aesthetic creatures. But it's true. When you build the building, right? You want it to look nice from the outside. You want people to arrive at your building and go, well, that's really nice. You want little plants and flowers around the outside, and you want all those little extras to make people feel welcome. And that's the outside, and that's important. That's really important. You wear the wrong clothes to a job interview. It's like, well, no, see beyond the clothes. Look, no, this person doesn't understand their role in this situation. So there's this idea that no, it's all inside people. No. People project and display their inner self in their outer world. So that, I think, connects to the pushing and pulling, things that we think are automatic are very often. It's not a whole chapter. It's just a page I wrote today. It's 117 in the list, which are the traps of change, the things that stop change happening in organizations and in people. The blocks, the mental blocks. Number 1, drifting focus, not focusing. Number 2, refusal to reflect, not looking at your past mistakes and learning from them. Pushing and not pulling, I described that. Leaning on managers, like managers are going to solve all the problems. Well, no, because everyone's got a job to do, and so everyone is important, not just the managers. anyone who doesn't do their job is making a problem. It's not just about the managers.